Welcome back to my channel. Hi YouTube coin collectors and investors. Waving hand, this is SF Coins, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of four iconic American coins, the Lincoln Wheat Penny and the golden Sacagawea dollar. At first glance, these coins may look ordinary, a small copper penny or a golden dollar, coin you might find in your pocket or an old jar. But hidden among them are ultra-rare varieties, valuable mint marks, and surprising mint errors that collectors and investors across the United States are willing to pay big money to own. In this video, we reveal the top four most valuable and expensive wheat pennies and Sacagawea dollar coins ever discovered. You'll learn about rare P, D, and S mint mark coins, valuable copper wheat pennies with historic designs, unique golden Sacagawea dollar coins, different color shades and striking variations, why even dirty or circulated coins could secretly be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Many of these valuable coins were discovered in pocket change, old jars, and forgotten collections across America. So before you spend that old penny or golden dollar coin, stick around, because you might be holding a hidden fortune in your hands. First up, coin number one, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark. This coin was produced by the United States Mint at the Philadelphia Mint. During the 1940s, coins made in Philadelphia often carried no mint mark, so the absence of a mint mark on a 1944 penny is completely normal. Yet the story behind this coin is anything but ordinary because it reflects the changes America experienced during World War II. The front of the coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This design had already been in use for decades by 1944. It first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and became the first circulating American coin to display a real historical figure. Turning the coin over reveals two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Because of this design, pennies from 1909 through 1958 are widely known as wheat pennies. The wheat imagery symbolized prosperity and agricultural strength, reflecting the importance of farming in the American economy. The year 1944 was especially important for the history of the penny. Just 1 year earlier, in 1943, the United States produced steel pennies because copper was needed for wartime equipment and ammunition. Those silver-colored steel coins were part of the national effort to conserve metal resources during the war. By 1940, the government returned to copper coin production, but the metal used often came from recycled military shell casings. That means many 1944 pennies were literally made from materials that had once been part of wartime equipment. This unusual origin adds a fascinating historical layer to the coin. Because millions of 1944 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, most examples are common today, in heavily circulated or dirty condition. They are usually worth only a small amount above their face value. A 1 cent dirt, scratches, and dark toning are typical signs of decades of circulation. However, collectors remain fascinated by extremely rare variations connected to this year. One of the most famous mistakes involves 1944 steel pennies that were accidentally struck using leftover steel planchets from the previous year. These rare coins are among the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. Another factor that affects value is the condition of the coin. A penny that still shows bright red copper color and sharp design details can be much more desirable than a heavily worn coin that has turned dark brown after decades of use. The typical 1944 copper wheat penny weighs around 3.11 grams and is made mostly of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. This bronze alloy gives the coin its warm reddish color and helps it survive years of handling. If someone finds a 1944 penny and wants to examine it at home, there are simple observations they can make. A genuine copper penny from that year will not stick to a magnet, while the extremely rare steel versions will show magnetic attraction. This simple test can help identify unusual pieces. Although exciting stories sometimes claim that a single penny can make someone a millionaire overnight, it is important to understand that most 1944 pennies are common historical coins. They carry fascinating history, but they do not usually bring extraordinary prices. Still, the thrill of discovery keeps collectors searching through jars of spare change, old drawers, and inherited coin collections. Occasionally, a rare mint error or unusual metal composition appears, reminding people why coin collecting can feel like a treasure hunt. The story of coins themselves reaches far beyond the 20th century. Humans have been using metal coins for more than 5,000 years, beginning with early civilizations that needed reliable tools for trade and commerce. Ancient societies created coins from copper, silver, and gold, stamping them with symbols of rulers and kingdoms. These small pieces of metal allowed merchants to exchange goods across cities, empires, and continents. Over centuries, coins became more than just money. They became historical records, carrying portraits, national symbols, and messages about the culture and power of the societies that created them. In the United States, the Lincoln Wheat penny became one of the longest-running and most recognizable coin designs ever produced. For nearly 50 years, it represented the smallest unit of American currency, while passing to the hands of millions of citizens. Collectors today carefully study these coins, examining the lines of Lincoln's portrait and the delicate details of the wheat stalks. Even small variations in color, strike quality, or preservation can influence collector interest. Every coin carries its own journey through time. Some move quickly through everyday purchases, while others remain hidden for decades in jars or boxes before being rediscovered. So the next time you find a 1944 copper wheat penny, pause for a moment and look closely at it. Most will simply be reminders of the past, but each one still carries a story shaped by war, history, and the enduring tradition of coinage that connects generations. Next up, coin number 2. Imagine reaching into an old jar filled with forgotten coins and pulling out a small copper penny dated 1942. At first, it may look like just another ordinary coin, but for collectors across the United States of America, coins from this era often carry fascinating stories about history, war, and the change in materials used in everyday money. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those coins that quietly connects modern collectors to a dramatic period in the 20th century. This penny was struck by the United States Mint at its Philadelphia facility. At that time, coins produced in Philadelphia normally carried no mint mark, which is why a 1942 penny without a mint letter is considered completely normal rather than unusual. During the early 1940s, the United States needed large quantities of small coins to support everyday commerce, so millions of pennies were produced each year. The front of the coin displays a familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This design had been in use since 1909 and became the first American circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. Lincoln's image symbolized unity and leadership, qualities that resonated strongly with Americans during difficult periods of history. The reverse side of the coin features 2 tall wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. Because of this design, pennies produced between 1909 and 1958 are commonly known as wheat pennies. The wheat imagery reflected prosperity and the agricultural strength that supported much of the nation's economy during the early 20th century. The year 1942 was especially significant because it occurred during the early stages of World War II. At that time, the United States was rapidly mobilizing its industries and resources to support the war effort. Metals such as copper were extremely valuable because they were needed for electrical wiring, ammunition, and military equipment. The penny produced in 1942 was still made primarily from a bronze alloy, consisting mostly of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. However, the increasing demand for copper soon led to an important change. In the following year, 1943, the mint temporarily switched to zinc-coated steel pennies in order to conserve copper for wartime production. Because millions of 1942 wheat pennies were minted in Philadelphia, most examples found today are considered common coins. In heavily circulated or dirty condition, they are usually worth only a few cents above their face value of 1 cent. Scratches, discoloration, and dark toning are typical signs of decades of circulation. However, collectors are always searching for unusual minting errors that may appear on coins from this period. During the high-speed minting process, small mechanical shifts sometimes produce coins with double letters, off-center designs, or other striking anomalies. These rare variations can attract interest among collectors. Another factor that strongly influences value is the condition of the coin. A penny that has been carefully preserved and still displays bright red copper color with sharp details can be far more appealing than a heavily worn coin that has turned dark brown after years of use. If someone finds a 1942 penny and wants to examine it at home, there are simple observations they can make. The coin should weigh around 3.11 grams and display the classic copper color associated with wheat pennies. Because it is made of copper alloy, it will not stick to a magnet like the steel pennies produced the following year. Although dramatic stories sometimes suggest that a single penny might be worth tens of thousands of dollars, it is important to remember that most 1942 pennies remain ordinary historical coins. They carry historical interest rather than extraordinary monetary value. Still, the excitement of searching through pocket change continues to inspire collectors. Every once in a while, someone discovers a rare variety or an unusually well-preserved coin hidden among ordinary pieces of currency. The story of coins stretches far beyond modern America. For more than 5,000 years, civilizations around the world have used metal coins made from copper, silver, and gold to simplify trade and represent value. Ancient societies stamped symbols of kings, animals, and national identity onto their coins. These small objects traveled across markets and trade routes, connecting distant regions and cultures through commerce. Over centuries, coins became both financial tools and historical records. Each coin carries information about the people, technology, and events that shaped the time in which it was produced. In the United States, the Lincoln Wheat Penny became one of the longest-running coin designs ever issued. For nearly 50 years, it circulated widely and became a familiar part of everyday life for generations of Americans. Collectors today study these coins carefully, examining the fine lines of Lincoln's portrait and the delicate details of the wheat stalks on the reverse. Even small variations in color or strike quality can influence collector interest. Every coin travels through its own journey. Some move quickly through countless purchases, while others remain hidden for decades in drawers, jars, or family collections before being rediscovered. So the next time you see a copper penny dated 1942, take a moment to look closely at it. Most will simply be reminders of everyday history, but each one still carries a connection to a remarkable time when the world was changing, and even the smallest coin played a role in the story of a nation. Next up, coin number 2. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar, a coin that marked the beginning of a new era in American dollar coins. The coin was produced by the United States Mint at its Denver facility, which is why the small letter D appears on the front of the coin. The year 2000 was the very first year this design entered circulation, making it an important starting point for the entire Sacagawea dollar series. When it was released, banks and collectors across the country were eager to see the new golden dollar. The front of the coin shows the portrait of Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who played a crucial role in guiding the expedition led by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark across the western lands of North America in the early 1800s. The design shows her carrying her infant son Jean Baptiste on her back, symbolizing strength, courage, and the spirit of exploration. On the reverse side of the coin appears a majestic eagle flying high, with its wings spread wide. Surrounding the eagle are 17 stars, representing the number of states in the Union during the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The image celebrates discovery, exploration, and the growth of a young nation. Although the coin shines with a bright golden color, it is not made from solid gold. The Sacagawea dollar is created using a special alloy that includes a copper core surrounded by layers of manganese brass. This combination produces the warm golden tone, while keeping the coin durable enough for everyday circulation. When the Sacagawea dollar was introduced in 2000, the government hoped it would replace the $1 paper bill and become widely used in daily transactions. Huge numbers of these coins were minted and distributed through banks, vending machine companies, and collector sets. However, the American public continued to prefer paper currency, so the golden dollar never completely replaced the $1 bill. As a result, many Sacagawea dollars remain stored in bank vaults or circulated only occasionally, which is why some people rarely encounter them today. Because millions of 2000 Sacagawea dollars were produced, most examples found in circulation today are worth only their face value of $1. Coins that appear dirty, scratched, or heavily worn generally remain common circulation pieces. However, collectors often search for unusual minting errors or special varieties connected to this coin. During the high-speed minting process, small mechanical changes sometimes created coins with double designs, off-center strikes, or other unique features that make them more collectible. One of the most famous discoveries associated with the Sacagawea dollar involved rare mule coins where the obverse of the Sacagawea dollar was accidentally paired with the reverse of a state quarter. These extremely rare mint mistakes became legendary among collectors and demonstrated how unusual errors can create extraordinary value. Another factor that influences value is the condition of the coin. A Sacagawea dollar that still displays bright golden luster and crisp design details can attract much more interest from collectors than one that has circulated for years and developed scratches or dull surfaces. If someone finds a 2000D Sacagawea dollar and wants to examine it at home, there are a few simple observations they can make. The coin should weigh about 8.1 grams and display a warm golden color rather than a silver tone. Because of its alloy composition, it will not behave like steel coins when exposed to a magnet. Despite exciting stories circulating online about coins worth millions, it is important to understand that most Sacagawea dollars will not turn someone into a billionaire overnight. The majority are common coins produced for everyday use. Still, the thrill of discovery keeps collectors searching through jars of spare change and old coin collections. Every once in a while, an unusual variety or rare mint error appears, reminding people that hidden treasures can sometimes be found in unexpected places. The story of coins themselves stretches far beyond modern America. Humans have been using metal coins for more than 5,000 years, beginning with early civilizations that needed reliable systems for trade and commerce. Ancient societies produced coins from copper, silver, and gold, stamping them with images of rulers, animals, and powerful symbols. These coins traveled along trade routes and markets, helping merchants exchange goods across great distances. Over centuries, coins became more than simple tools of commerce. They became historical records, preserving images of leaders, cultures, and important events that shaped the world. In the United States, modern coins like the Sacagawea dollar continue this tradition by honoring historical figures who played important roles in the nation's development. Collectors today carefully examine these coins, studying the fine details of Sacagawea's portrait and the elegant lines of the soaring eagle on the reverse. Even small variations in strike quality or surface condition can influence collector interest. Every coin carries its own journey through time. Some travel through countless purchases and transactions, while others remain hidden in drawers, piggy banks, or family collections for years before being rediscovered. So the next time you see a golden Sacagawea dollar dated 2000 with the D mint mark, take a moment to look closely at it. Most will simply be reminders of modern American currency, but each one still carries a story of exploration, history, and the enduring legacy of coinage that connects generations. Next up, the United States of America rarely pay attention to dollar coins, yet collectors know that some of these coins hold fascinating stories and historical significance. One of the most interesting modern coins is the 2000p Sacagawea dollar, a coin that introduced a completely new design and honored a remarkable historical figure. The 2000p Sacagawea dollar was struck by the United States Mint at the Philadelphia Mint. The small letter P placed on the front of the coin represents Philadelphia, one of the oldest and most important minting facilities in the country. The year 2000 was especially important because it was the very first year the Sacagawea dollar was introduced into circulation. The front of the coin features a portrait of Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who helped guide the historic expedition led by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark across the vast lands of North America in the early 19th century. The design shows Sacagawea carrying her infant son Jean-Baptiste on her back, symbolizing courage, leadership, and the strength of motherhood during a time of exploration. The reverse side of the coin displays a powerful soaring eagle surrounded by 17 stars. These stars represent the number of states in the United States during the era of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The eagle represents freedom and the adventurous spirit that shaped the early growth of the nation. Although the coin appears bright and golden, it is not made of solid gold. Instead, the Sacagawea dollar is produced using a layered metal composition that includes a copper core with an outer layer of manganese brass. This special alloy was chosen to give the coin its unique golden appearance, while also making it strong enough to withstand circulation. When the Sacagawea dollar was first released in the year 2000, the government hoped it would replace the paper $1 bill and become widely used in everyday transactions. Large quantities were produced and distributed through banks, vending machine companies, and collector sets. Despite these efforts, the American public continued to prefer paper currency, which meant the golden dollar coin never fully replaced the dollar bill. As a result, many of these coins ended up stored in bank vaults or coin collections instead of circulating widely in daily commerce. Because millions of 2000 Sacagawea dollars were produced, most examples found in circulation today are worth only their face value of $1. Coins that appear dirty, scratched, or worn from years of handling generally remain ordinary circulation coins. However, collectors continue searching for unusual varieties and rare minting errors associated with the 2000 Sacagawea dollar. During the minting process, small mechanical shifts sometimes created coins with double designs, off-center strikes, or other interesting characteristics. One of the most famous discoveries related to this series involved a rare mule error in which the front of the Sacagawea dollar was accidentally combined with the reverse of a state quarter. These extremely rare coins captured the attention of collectors around the world and demonstrated how minting mistakes can create valuable rarities. Another factor that affects value is the condition of the coin. A Sacagawea dollar that still displays bright golden luster and sharp design details can attract far more interest among collectors than a coin that has circulated for years and developed scratches or dull surfaces. If someone finds a 2000 Sacagawea dollar home, there are simple observations that can help confirm its authenticity. The coin should weigh about 8.1 grams and display a warm golden color. Because of its alloy composition, it will not behave like steel coins when exposed to a magnet. Although dramatic stories sometimes suggest that a coin could be worth millions of dollars, it is important to understand that most Sacagawea dollars will not turn someone into a billionaire overnight. The majority remain ordinary coins produced for everyday use. Still, the excitement of searching through spare change continues to inspire collectors. Occasionally, a rare mint error or unusual variety appears, reminding people that hidden discoveries can sometimes be found in unexpected places. The history of coins stretches back thousands of years across civilizations and around the world. Early societies used metal coins made from copper, silver, and gold to make trade easier and more reliable. These coins traveled along ancient trade routes and helped connect distant cultures. Over time, coins became symbols of nations and leaders. Rulers placed portraits and national emblems on their currency to represent power, identity, and cultural heritage. In the United States, modern coins like the Sacagawea dollar continue this tradition by honoring historical figures who shaped the nation's past. The coin celebrates exploration, courage, and the contributions of Native American history. Collectors today carefully examine these coins, studying the fine details of Sacagawea's portrait and the graceful lines of the eagle on the reverse. Even small differences in strike quality or preservation can influence collector interest. Every coin carries its own journey through time. Some travel through countless purchases and transactions, while others remain hidden for decades in jars, drawers, or family collections before being rediscovered. So the next time you see a golden Sacagawea dollar dated 2000 with the P Mint mark, take a moment to look closely at it. Most will simply be reminders of modern American coinage, but each one still carries a story of exploration, history, and the enduring tradition of coins that connects generations.